This is Musings and Counsel from London Baker Law with Debbie London Baker.
You've done a lot of coaching.
Yes.
I had a couple people want to know, do you still do that? Tell people about yourself and your firm.
Okay. Well, let's see. I could give you the years and the day, but I won't. But I graduated from law school in 2015 on May 16th. So anybody who does numbers, they can work those numbers. And then I passed the bar. I took the bar in July of 2015. I passed it, which was a blessing. And I got sworn in October of 2015. I've been practicing for about 7.5 years. I do estate planning because it's a great way to be of service. To your question about coaching, there is a good bit of coaching involved in it, in helping people make choices that they're struggling to make. And the difference between coaching and law, which I get stopped on in coaching, it's easier to say to you, Steve, do you really want to do that? Or in law, it's more like, you might want to give that a little more thought. So there's a different tack, but there is coaching involved. I don't ever want to be in court, which is one reason I chose estate planning. There's never reason court if it's done correctly, and nobody's yelling at you for doing the wrong thing, which hasn't happened, and I assume will not happen. But the biggest reason is, as I've said before, but it always bears repeating, is I thought about law school when I was younger, and it was never the right time. And in 2008, God told me to go to law school, which was startling to say the least. And but now was the right time. So actually, on August 22nd, it'll be 12 years since I started law school, and it was 4 glorious years. It wasn't easy. It wasn't that I graduated, cum laude or summa cum laude, whatever the top one is. But I loved the learning, and I appreciated being pretty much the oldest person in the world by birth certificates, because I wasn't there to build a 40-year career or start a clerkship or, work with a judge. I was there to learn and have fun. And I had both. I learned and I had fun.
So we can say the Lord touched your heart.
Yeah, he could. Well, actually, he smacked me across the head. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, but whatever, however, you want to put it. I mean, it was pretty startling. It wasn't this cat, but the cat that was with me 14 years ago, she wasn't even in the room. So he couldn't be talking to anybody but me. And he did give me an out when I asked when, and he said, get ready. And that, I didn't know what that meant, but I did. It took 32 months by the time I started. It was time well spent. It was a great learning experience, because you really learn that anything you want to do, you'll find time to do, and it just goes into your schedule. So that's where it started.
How long ago did you start thinking about this before you actually went to law school?
Well, let's see. The first time I was going to go to law school, I got accepted about 72 hours before classes started, and I just couldn't figure out how to work out the logistics, so I didn't go. Actually, I thought that wasn't terribly unreasonable. The second time I thought about going to law school, I spoke to somebody and said, do I have to take contracts and torts? And they said, yes. I went, well, then I'm not going to law school, because I was older. The third time I thought about it, I did not. I went to Stetson here in South St. Petersburg and Florida, and I honestly didn't see them online. So the only part-time law school I found was all online, and would only allow me to practice in California, which I wasn't moving to California, so that was impractical. Plus, it was going to be $130,000, and it was all online, and I had no interest in that. So the fourth time is when it was the right time. I mean, it was the right time. God he waited till the right time and he said, go to law
Yes.
school. And I listened and I went. And it really was glorious. Again, not easy. Wasn't the top of the class. Thanked him for curves for grades for 2 or 3 classes. But I went with the promise, this is a good thing for people to think about just in their lives. I went with a promise to never leave anything on the table. So I never went to a class or a test or prep without knowing I'd given it everything I could. Didn't mean I got A's or whatever, but it meant that I never walked out of a test or a room knowing I hadn't given it my best. And that was a promise I made before I started. I wasn't going to leave anything on the table.
This has been Musings and Counsel from London Baker Law. Learn more at londonbakerlaw.com. Thanks for listening.